What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with this unique guest posing of Mike Sommerfeld. So the man looks pretty big and in a superb condition. So Mike hasn't won any major titles like the Arnold or the Olympia of course. So just looking at all the updates that Mike has been posting, he can easily get ready for this upcoming Arnold. And I have got to say he can win it pretty handedly. So it was a 4 months off season that allowed Mike to put on 12 pounds of muscle this year. Now he has some room to grow, which is kind of insane, considering how big he looked at this past Miss Olympia. But that number this time for sure won't be close to 12 pounds. And maybe Mike doesn't need a full year to put on some muscle to max out his weight cap for the Olympia next year in October. So his V-taper, I have got to say, looks so phenomenal. And you can say whatever you want to say, that the man is built like a bodybuilder. But the fact of the matter is, Mike is the only guy who was able to push Chris Bumstead that hard, especially since C-Bum won his first ever Miss Olympia back in 2019. So the judges definitely see him as a classic physique competitor and also as one of the biggest classic physique Olympia title contender for next year. Now whoever wins the Olympia, including Mike, they have got some very big shoes to fill. Because C-Bum was just so likable as a champion. In fact, he has been the most loved guy in the industry in the last 2 decades. So let's see how Mike builds himself up for next year. So do you guys think Mike should do this upcoming Arnold? Quinton Ewu is looking so massive during the health phase. So he gave himself time to clean out his system after his last show, which was Toronto Pro. So last year Quinton started prepping very early. In fact, he was in prep since December for the New York Pro. And it is kind of surprising that even such a long prep that did not allow him to showcase all the muscle that he built during the long off season last year. In fact, Quinton's own impression about his New York Pro look this year was that he looked better in every aspect 2 years ago at Texas Pro when he was working with Dorian Hamilton. So as of right now, Quinton has not announced any show for next year, but he's definitely going to be bringing some heat to whatever show he does next year. And he's going to do everything in his power to qualify for the Olympia next year, which for those of you guys who do not know is gonna be his first ever Miss Olympia. So looking at the results of his last show, the Toronto Pro, it is pretty clear that the judges want to see him big on the stage. So he was able to beat a guy like John Jewett, who was more shredded than Quinton, but Quinton's structure was just so unique that the judges rewarded him. So Quinton, we all know, had a bad experience with his former coach Matt Jensen, and he's now determined that he just won't be needing a coach for the future. Now I'm guessing he's probably gonna change his mind as he gets deeper into the prep. So this is a very unique athlete, and the world of bodybuilding has been waiting for him to put everything together for quite some years now. So is 2025 gonna be Quinton's year? Now if you guys ask me, I do believe he is gonna qualify for the Olympia next year, especially if he picks up a show more strategically. But still, I have got to say he has got a lot of gaps to fill in his physique, especially in terms of size, to get to the level of Samson Dauda and Andrew Jack and be in the top 10 at the Olympia. Next up, we have the off-season physique update of Jordan Hutcherson, the guy who really impressed us all with his sharp conditioning in 3 shows this year. So Jordan was kinda unlucky in a sense that his performance really got overshadowed at this year's Texas Pro, where he placed his career's best, second behind Andrew Jack. But just because the world of bodybuilding was in total shock to see the new and improved version of Andrew, nobody really talked about Jordan. Now he had a couple of good showings, like for instance Tampa Pro this year, where he placed 3rd behind John De La Rosa and Muhammad Fada. And what really was impressive by Jordan this year was how shredded and peeled he looked in all the 3 shows that he did this year. So the man made a well-timed decision to end the season with Texas Pro, because in order for him to win a show where we have a better competition, where there are much better bodybuilders than him, he still needs more size, which he has been packing very well, especially in the last couple of years or so. So since this offseason started, Jordan has cleaned out. He got his gyno surgery done, and now is getting ready to really push hard and be full-blown for the year ahead. And I'm guessing he's gonna choose a show in the later part of the year, probably closer to the Olympia next year. Charles Griffin made this announcement that he wants to be an Olympian 4 times before he retires. So this might be his last year as a competitive bodybuilder. And just by looking at this physique update posted by him yesterday, it is pretty clear that he is in the process of rebuilding that physique. So he is among 4 of the top 10 Olympia finishers from last year, 2023, whom all skipped the Olympia this year. And all of these guys are gonna be returning to the stage next year. Starting from Michael Crizo, who was top 7, Tony Burton, who was 8th, Regan Grimes, who was 9th, and Charles Griffin, who was 10th. So you can already see that 2025, that is gonna be a highly competitive year. But not only just at the Olympia level, but also some of the athletes, they will have to bring their absolute best in order to even qualify for the Olympia, especially with all that increased prize money this year. Now Charles Griffin, I have got to say, has got all the tools. He's very complete front to back, top to bottom. He has one of the best backs in the men's open. Plus, he never shows up out of shape. He is always ripped to the bone. Now he had a packed year at the Legion Sports back in 2023. Now he did not train his chest at all. But he was just so damn shredded and so lean that he won that show. And he was able to place top 10 at the Olympia as well. So looking forward to his return next year. And let's see what kind of physique he can present this time. Because I'm sure his chest of course will be a lot better this time. But his overall physique, especially his quads, I am thinking they are gonna be a lot more improved. Next up we have another off-season physique update from the Egyptian tank, Hassan Mustafa. So it is so good to see him staying ahead of the schedule. Because he's staying so lean for this upcoming season. Because based on his run in 2024, Hassan needs to diet longer than most of the other pros to get truly shredded and peeled. So despite him not having great aesthetics and all of those beautiful lines, Hassan is just so damn massive. He has such overwhelming mass that he can win shows if only he shows up shredded, if he can truly get shredded. So the 2 shows that Hassan did this year, Toronto Pro and Chicago Pro, they were some of the worst looks of his career. That kind of reminded us of his run back in 2021, when he did more than 5 shows in 1 year, and he wasn't in a great condition in any of those shows. And that is why he was unable to win any of those shows, although he did qualify for the Olympia next year, but on points. Now Chad Nichols as a coach, he did a good job with him in 2023, especially his looks at Toronto Pro and the Olympia that year. They were some of his best looks to date. So the longer Hassan Mustafa diets, the more chances that we're gonna see him in a good condition next year. So do you guys think Hassan Mustafa will be able to qualify for the Olympia next year? And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.